right, Chad, ready? Okay. We're holding today's meeting at Northern Middle School. There is, I assume, no public comment. We will come back from executive session at approximately 6 p.m. for the public session. Under Section 3-305B of the General Provisions article of the Maryland Annotated Code, there is one reason the board will go into closed session this evening: to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Specifically, the topics for tonight will be 3-305B1, topics including certificated staff recommendations, update on superintendent's goals for 23-24, and superintendent goals for 24-25. The reason these topics will be discussed in closed session instead of open session is follows. The personnel topics pursuant to 3-305B1 disclosed above will be considered in closed session rather than open session because they include a discussion of specific employees, which is a confidential employment matter. Hearing all of that, are there any objections to going into executive session? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Jason. Seconded by Rodney. All those in favor of going into executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And we are in executive session. Good evening. Welcome to our July board meeting on the 9th of July. I'd like to welcome everyone. And we'll start with the opening a moment of silence, which will be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance, led by our student member for our next school year, beginning tonight. And we welcome Cadence to the board meeting. And as I promised her earlier, this will be the shortest board meeting she ever attends. So with that, if you'll please stand for a moment of silence, be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First order of business will be to approve the agenda, so I'll take a motion as such.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Van Sickle,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Lillard. Any concerns, objections? Hearing none. Those in favor of approval of the agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And it is approved. Approval of the consent agenda, motion as such.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Van Sickle, seconded by Mr. Glotfelty. All those in favor of the approval of the consent agenda as posted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the consent agenda is approved. Once again, I remind everyone that our closed session summaries and announcements are on our Board of Education website. You're certainly encouraged to look at those things and see the many things that are happening in our school system. Even as we are in the summer months, there's still a lot of pretty incredible things that are going on. First business will be Learning Beyond the Classroom update. And our bus is out front of the building, and we're going to hear some things about the bus and incredible statistics.
So tonight, this is a fun thing to present on. This is one of our favorite things that we do in our school system with Learning Beyond the Classroom bus. It impacts many kids, many families. It touches many lives. If you have not had a chance to experience, you should go out. It will put a smile on your face to see the kids around there. Carrie Wampler and her team work hard to ensure that the bus is out very frequently to different communities all around the county. The bus is used to increase readiness with families that have children in the 0 to 5 population. It provides the fine arts experience and feeding programs. The bus serves as a classroom, a library, and a food bank. We live in an amazing community with caring partners. We work with the local management board, as well as some special families, the Andrew Woods Foundation, Landon's Library, and Samantha Funding the Arts. We have different partner meetings and they are willing to do whatever we need. We have Tom and Debbie Woods, Brian and Crystal Bowl, Charlie and June McCloskey, and Carrie can vouch for this. They'll say, "What do you need?" And they support that, and it really does change lives. If you haven't experienced, please do try to get out and see it. They often ask that, during the meetings, what else? So recently, we needed a new bus. And, some people may think that, but they were right on. So the local management board, as well as our partners, was like, okay, let's do it. And so they didn't even hesitate, which was really nice. They even helped us pick out a bus. They worked with Rich with that. And we have the wrap. That's the new bus out there. The inside is not done yet, but we're very excited about that as well. And we already have the funds to support that. None of it comes out of our local budget. It's all given by our partners, and it's very, very good for our community. Carrie has some exciting information to share with some statistics as well as visits that are coming up in the future.
And as we continue to talk about learning beyond the classroom, I just want to give a thank you to Dr. Wilderson, who had the original vision of learning beyond the classroom and put a lot of time and sweat and love into the program. And we're on our 9th year, so it's had great success. And thank you for that vision, Dr. Wilderson. This year in Learning Beyond the Classroom, we have been able to participate in 67 events throughout the county from June 23rd to July 24th. Those sites include Friendsville, Grantsville, Kitzmiller, Oakland, and Crellin. As you arrive to those sites, you'll see an environment set up that will nurture social emotional development, nurture adult growth, family growth, and then also academic achievement increases as well. So we really take pride in what we have planned at Learning Beyond the Classroom and the time and effort we put into it. We have partnered with the local management board to set up 4 strategic goals for Learning Beyond the Classroom: reduce childhood hunger, reduce the impact of parental incarceration on children, families, and communities, increase school readiness, and improve outcomes for disconnected and opportunity youth. So as we're planning our year, as our family service specialists are looking at areas to create awareness in, they're really emphasizing these 4 goals. So what impact have we made this year? At the beginning of the year, we talked as a team, and we realized we are very cute in what we do. Our program is a beautiful bus that, as it travels down the road, is very eye-catching. But we decided 9 years ago, and this year especially, that we wanted to be more than a cute program. So the impact that we're having throughout the community is that in the area of food security and school readiness, we've delivered 405 bags of healthy food options and tools to increase school readiness. So if you look on the side slide there, you can see an example. This is a photo from our bus, and it's an example of what the kids will hop on the bus and gather at the end of each site. So this month in particular, they were able to receive a thing of laundry detergent, a children's book, an alphabet Pop-It, a box of oatmeal, 3 varieties of apples, and several oranges to take home with them. So this is an example of what families are receiving when they attend a Learning Beyond the Classroom stop. Our second target that we feel we made a large impact in this year is reducing the impact of parental incarceration. Our family service specialists have worked with 16 families with a combination of 43 children to set goals, action steps, support, and make referrals within those 16 families. And then lastly, working with disconnected and opportunity youth. Our family service specialists have worked with families to set 43 vocational or educational goals. And they've developed those goals, set action steps, and then followed up with families to ensure that they're making forward progress towards those goals. In the regards, or in that department of the disconnected and opportunity youth, we've also partnered with Garrett College and the local Early Head Start and Head Start to write a grant together to start a family literacy program. So students that participate in Learning Beyond the Classroom, as well as students who are in Early Head Start, in our Judy Center schools, their parents are allowed to attend a GED program during the day while their kids are in program free of charge, transportation included as well. So that has really been an area of growth for our staff working toward the vocational and educational goals.
And we even had a brother that took advantage of the GED this year along with the other families. So it wasn't just parents. We had a brother jump on board that needed to complete his. So that was a good thing.
And then lastly, just what we have upcoming for the remainder of the summer and early into fall. You can see our summer schedule there. And then we'll start the new school year with our community baby shower in October. So thank you guys all for supporting our program. We really appreciate it. And we always say that we're powered on community partnerships, and it's the truth. We couldn't do it independently, and we're very grateful for the opportunity to have this program in the community.
Comments, questions, board members?
I just have a comment. I think this is a really great program. It really shows community support for what with partnerships with education and some of the other agencies and nonprofits, and it's amazing to me that you can get donations to the level that you get that keep that bus running, because I know how tough it is to operate a bus and go from one community to another. But I know I've told this story before, but I took my 3-year-old granddaughter out to the fair last year, and bought her a ticket for the carnival, and we go in there, and the activity bus is right to the side. She wants to go over there to see the activity bus, and I could not get her away from there. I said, look at all these rides. Don't you want to get? No, I want to play. And there was a lot of kids there playing and having a good time and learning. So great job.
Thank you.
I'll echo what Mr. Gladfeldy said, and also just really thank our community partners and families that help make this a big part of our community. So thank you for what you do.
And as one of the families, we are, the three of us, the Bowles and McCluskeys and ourselves, are extremely proud to be a part of this. I mean, I think if you ask us for $50,000, we'd probably say yes.
Don't tempt me.
Well, we would say yes, because we believe that much in not only the bus, what it represents for us as the three families, but what it does for the kids in our community.
It does.
I mean, it's just amazing. And I want to echo, when Jane came to us 9 years ago with the idea, we jumped on right away. Said, let's try it and see how it works. And Charlie McCluskey certainly is he has sold a very successful business that was as a mechanic in PG County. And so Charlie has helped us a lot through the years to ensure that the bus is safe, it's the right bus to buy, and the shrink wrap is just. I was walking this morning by the board office about 7:30, and I saw the bus and the van and the trailer parked down in the parking lot. So I walked down, got my camera out, took pictures of everything, and we're just really proud of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great,
We're
thank you.
blessed to have the community support we do from you all. Thank you.
Yeah, I can remember when Dr. Wilderson came to the LMB 9 years ago and floated this idea of getting money from the local management board to support that bus. I mean, it was universally accepted. I think unanimously approved by the LMB. So great. I just want to give credit to her because she did a lot of legwork too, going around to get the money to operate.
Well, I can't let the rest of you compliment this amazing staff without adding my thank you and compliments. And I learned something, or maybe I learned something that I had forgotten, but Jane, Dr. Wilderson, thank you very much for bringing that idea forward and for the implementation of the idea. I too believe it is making a wonderful difference in our community. I really like the goals that you're working toward, and attending LMB meetings. I can assure you that they will continue to be very supportive of the work that you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you as well. I think the thing that I like the most about the bus is you're not waiting for the kids to come to you. You go to the kids. You go to their neighborhoods. And transportation, we know that we have a huge transportation problem. So I think that's a big part of how this has become so successful as well.
Thank you. And we do. We have an incredible staff, as Dr. McCartney commented. We have 4 staff that have their teaching certificate, and we have 4 staff that are either seeking or have already achieved associate's, bachelor's, or master's in social work. So we have a very advanced staff that are qualified to reach these goals that we have set. So I'm very blessed and pleased with our current staffing and excited to see where it takes us in the future years.
The one statistic that just about floored my wife, myself, when we saw it was the incarceration statistic. I mean, you don't normally think about those kinds of things as educators about what is a home life like for a child when one of those parents is actually incarcerated. So that I applaud you for having that as a goal. I had no idea we had those kinds of numbers.
And that is probably our most challenging goal, that involves our staff really building rapport and developing relationships for families to feel comfortable to open up with that level of information. So again, I applaud them for the relationships that they're building in such a non-threatening environment. And that's what it is. It creates a non-threatening environment where children are being loved on, children are growing, adults have an opportunity to grow, and they feel comfortable sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Okay, we're going to keep moving. Our next thing is our FY 24-25 food and nutrition service business. This is an action item tonight, and Mr. Jermaine will make that presentation. Before the presentation is made, Dr. McCartney, do you have a recommendation about the approval of the contract?
For the, excuse me, sorry. For the food and nutrition services bids for 24-25, which Mr. Germain will be reviewing, I would recommend that we approve these vendors for the fiscal 2025 year.
Okay, Superintendent's recommending approval of the vendors' bids we presented for 24-25 school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Jason, second?
Second.
Second by Sadie. We can now have discussion as you go through if there is any questions, so we can get that little bit of out of the way and we can move a little quicker perhaps.
So I'm here to request our grocery bid to be approved to AF Wendling and Company Incorporated, along with U.S. Foods. We will continue to use the Omnia Partners Premier contract through U.S. Foods. And then we will also request the bread bid to be approved to Bimbo Bakeries. We did have two bids there. With the groceries, it was just the one. The other companies did not send a bid in. We requested from 3 other companies, but they just did not want to commit to a year-long pricing. So we will continue to use other vendors when we find that we don't have access to where we're from, or we find better pricing from one of the other vendors. So we are always looking for somebody who can supply us, for starters. that has still been a struggle. That has not gone away. And then the best pricing we go for. So, well, I did not include it on the memo. We also Hershey Creamery for ice cream and Janitor Supply for chemical. And again, they were the sole bidders.
Questions?
Scott, where is Bimbo Bakeries located?
I believe the bakery is actually in Baltimore.
That's in,
It's an Atlanta, Georgia company. That's where their bid comes out of. But it's I believe the bakery is in Baltimore at this point.
Okay.
They have consolidated lots of companies into one.
Got it. Thanks.
Other questions? Okay, there's a motion on the floor and a second to accept the bids as presented to us by Mr. Jermaine. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And good luck.
Thank you.
Our next order of new business is Equity Advisory Board update. The superintendent, I think, will make that presentation.
So I believe this is on. Thank you. It's my pleasure to give a short report tonight on our Equity Advisory Committee. And for anyone interested, of course, the entire report will be online. Just want to give a couple highlights. The committee has met 4 times since its inception, with our first meeting in March. We have decided to take a summer break and we'll meet again the end of September. The committee has really been focusing on understanding what equity means and what it means to be an advisory committee to the superintendent in this particular area. The goal of the committee is to try to clarify, again, what equity means, but also to look at what we need to do as a school community to be sure that all of our students and staff feel comfortable in an environment where they can flourish. We very early on decided that we are not a committee to look at one issue and move on, that we needed to take our time, do some research, get ourselves very well grounded, and look at a variety of ways that we can support our students and our staff in feeling comfortable and safe in our schools. So we've looked at academic data. We've looked at the state survey data, the climate survey that our students take. And we've also been gathering information both nationally from national groups and also within the state of Maryland as to what systems and policies are in place to support equity among our school students. The next steps are to continue to educate ourselves because there's more for us to learn. We do plan in the fall to interview some of our students in different group settings. We're developing some questions that we would want to ask to guide our discussion so that we can hear from our students how comfortable they're feeling or what their concerns are. And again, just working towards the standard of having a school system where all of our children feel that they can flourish, along with our staff. Don't want to leave the staff out of this. So that's where we are. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and we will continue to look at the matter and try to find some good steps forward.
Questions? Comments?
Just one. I love the fact that you're going to get together with student groups. I think that's great. Any thought on maybe putting 2 high school students, one from each end of the county, on the committee?
We've actually talked about that. And I don't think we've really come to consensus on what students and how to select students, but it's definitely something that we've talked about, whether or not we should have a couple students on the committee. Our decision right now was to go to the students to begin with and then see what we can do. We meet in the evenings, so their missing school is not necessarily an issue, but they're missing a lot of other activities could be. So something for us to continue to consider.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, anyone? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time. I'm sorry, Mrs. Liller, did you want to add anything? I know he said something, but Mrs. Liller is the board representative, so.
No, I think just the main thing that we discussed is equity for all. And I think if we carry that message through, that it's going to turn out very good.
Okay, thank you.
All right, under continuing business, we do have another action item tonight, and that is the Educational Facilities Master Plan. I think, Mr. Zimmerman, are you going to make that presentation? Yes. Yeah, come on, Matt.
Yes, good evening. I'm here this evening to ask for the approval to the 2024-2025 Educational Facilities Master Plan.
Superintendent McCartney, do you have a recommendation?
Yes. My recommendation is to approve the 2024 Educational Facilities Master Plan as presented on the agenda and as posted on board docs.
Okay, the superintendent's asking for acceptance of the Educational Facilities Plan for the 24-25 school year. Is there a motion as such?
So moved.
So moved by Jason, second by Rodney. Any questions, discussion? Anyone? I know we've had it for a couple of months now. We've said to Mr. Wazlowski as well, appreciate very much putting the changes in red. So we only have to look for the changes and not try to find them ourselves. That's really helpful. I know that's a very large document, takes a lot of time to keep it up to date, and we're very appreciative of that fact, man. You guys do a really good job doing that.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, motion on the floor and a second to adopt the Facilities Master Plan. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, it is 3-1, or 2-1. 3-1. It is 3-1. I'm a yay as well.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next will be the Blueprint for Maryland's Future update, a stakeholder feedback plan presented by Dr. Miller.
Good evening. This is just an informational update. We've been trying to provide an update virtually every month this past year on where we're at with Blueprint and just highlighting different areas of the Blueprint that the board would be interested in. Over the last year, we have worked with our strategic facilitator, Molly DePasquale, who works through the AIB, and we've been really focused as an executive Blueprint committee in drafting a Blueprint strategic plan that is very accessible and helpful for us to be able to implement all of the vast changes that are required in the Blueprint. Of course, you all know that we have very large written plans associated with the Blueprint that have a lot of words and a lot of great information, but they're hundreds of pages long. And so we're really looking at trying to get something into a format that will help us in the implementation. So with that being said, we have had a lot of stakeholder engagement and involvement in our current draft through different Blueprint committees, through focus groups with parents, teachers, administration, various committees that have worked on different components of the Blueprint. We've tried to be very diverse in who, what groups are represented so that we're hearing a wide variety of voices. But we wanted to preview with the board our next step in stakeholder engagement, which includes some focus groups on our priorities and strategies that we're looking at. So this past week, we did some focus groups that involved staff, so instructional assistants, teachers, administration. Starting hopefully tomorrow, we'll be doing a press release to solicit community interest in participation in focus groups, with the hope to conduct those focus groups at the end of July, beginning of August. And then after that, our hope is to engage the board as well as a focus group as part of that process to give us feedback before we finalize and launch the plan. So that's just a preview of that. We didn't want anyone to be caught off guard by the solicitation for involvement, and just to give everybody full transparency and understanding of what we're trying to accomplish.
Questions?
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, we are still half an hour away from our posted time, although we don't have to follow that posted time, but we'll come back to it. Let's go ahead and do the student member report. I don't know, Cadence, if you have a lot to report during the summer, but certainly feel free to tell us everything that is going on.
Well, I first wanted to start off by thanking you all for having me here and appointing me to this position. But yes, like you said, with summer, there's not much to report on student activity. But I do have a few things. The first thing, as far as our GCASC, which is our Association of Student Councils, we are not as active in the summer right now because we are currently looking for an advisor. And just some few initiatives and things that I have on my personal agenda is that I will be in attendance at the MABE conference and at the NSBMA, which is the National Student Member Board Association dinner representing Garrett County. And then right now I'm working on compiling a list of student positions for local boards and organizations that will basically help students find what they can serve on and help provide input in our community organizations. So that's all I got.
Thank you. That's great. We certainly look forward to having you here. You're going to do a great job. We were very impressed with your interview that we did. Okay, board member updates, anything? Board members? I guess I should update the fact that we have a new superintendent of schools. Our interim superintendent retired, and we did hire a permanent superintendent for the next 4 years. So congratulations on your first meeting as the superintendent of schools and not the interim superintendent of schools.
Thank you.
Now you can tell us your updates.
My updates tonight will be very short. There are a couple upcoming events of note that I want to bring to everyone's attention. Fair Week is not that far away, which always to me means summer is almost over. Time is flying right by us. But the Garrett County Public Schools will once again have a booth at the fair the week of July 29th. Our booth will be in the commercial exhibit barn next to the horse barn. And we encourage everyone to visit the booth and check out some of our student work and 4-H projects that will be shown in the same area. The other thing that I'd like to mention tonight doesn't happen until August the 16th, but that is the date of our Stuff the Bus campaign at Walmart in Oakland from 8:30 in the morning to 5 p.m. And for members of the public, it's a wonderful way to support our area families who need assistance with various school supplies before the school year begins. We're also looking for volunteers that day, school board members, to solicit school supplies from the public, collect those items, and organize them for distribution. So two important events coming up for us this summer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Willison, do we have anyone signed up to speak? August 16th. Okay, the first person is Cindy Vose, who is going to talk about Panorama. Is that correct? Either one. I think you just have to push the button there to get it to work. This one? Uh-huh. There you go.
Cool. Hi, I'm the parent of 4 Garrett County Public School students ranging from 11th grade down to pre-K 4. I have 2 of them back there. And I wanted to give a public comment expressing my concerns regarding the use of Panorama in GCPS. My understanding is that Panorama is a third-party data collection program designed to create data profiles of our students. According to several sources, and I can share those sources, they're saved on my computer. We only have 3 minutes. This program has the potential to collect student data on behavior, family home life, family finances, equity, student sexuality, and behavior concerning illicit substances. The program then allows teachers and admin to use this information to create a student profile that will follow each student throughout his or her education. I'm extremely concerned about the accumulation of student data in this manner. We have all experienced, or we know someone who's experienced, data breaches, whether they be medical or credit-based, or from shopping online or shopping at Target. And there is no possible way to 100% guarantee that this accumulated information remains private. From my understanding, the district does not plan to gather information regarding sensitive subjects at this time, such as student sexuality or illicit behavior. But, however, the ability to do so is easily available through Panorama systems. Can this board guarantee that future administrations will not utilize this tool? Furthermore, I believe that many parents would not want these Panorama-generated student profiles connected to our children throughout their education. We already have excellent intervention tools in place in the district, from 504 plans to IEPs, school counselors, school therapists, county resources. I have kids that have received those services. All of these are available for teachers and interventionists who personally know and love our students. As a parent, I would much rather see those bonds forged, as opposed to impersonal student surveys designed to collect the most personal of information, all created by a company that views our children as a way to maximize their product's profitability. The amount of data collection in society is already concerning. And we're looking at beginning this collection at the most vulnerable, awkward, and confusing time of a person's life, and then connecting it to our child as they go through the remainder of their public education. And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin Lyons, problem with school board. Yeah, just press it one time. It'll work. There you go.
I know my wife and I filed an appeal and it was denied. You denied our request. And what I say tonight cannot change anything. And if I don't, though, I'll regret it the rest of my life. Everybody knows who I am and why I'm here, so I'm just going to make this short. My daughter was violated back in January. This entire time I was under the impression that, and told, the school nurse was allowed to do the visual vaginal exam because she claims that there was a medical emergency. What was the medical emergency? There was never one document in her health room record. So what was the medical emergency? There was nothing wrong with my daughter. She had a simple UTI. She wasn't bleeding. She wasn't broken. There was nothing wrong with her. There were laws, rules, and policies broken in this situation. Me nor her mother were called until after the fact. This illegal exam was already done. There was no medical emergency. This exam was not needed. With that information, or the lack of information by itself, I could sit here and argue that these people were perverts, and it would not be slandered. The definition of slander is false statements given to harm someone's professional or personal reputation. Unless you have documents proving to me there was a medical emergency or what it was, I don't see how it could be slander. Now, I have documents showing that nothing was documented. It shows she was in the health room, who was there, but no reason was documented. I've been told throughout this entire process that I had no right to make the requests that I have made. Let me inform you as a school board, I have the right to request safety for my child in school. You work for me, and every parent here in the has a child in the Garrett County school system. And I'm not going to be one of them guys, but I am going to be that guy. I do pay taxes. And I know, regardless if it's land taxes, sale taxes, what I pay at work, those taxes pay part of your salary. So let me reiterate. You guys work for us as parents. All that being said, I've learned two things in this whole experience. One, the school board of Garrett County is very corrupt and will do anything to hide things and cover things up. And two, parents, talk to your kids and talk to them often. And if they ever tell you that something has happened in school, a teacher, another student has harmed them, don't expect the school board to do anything. You have to find somebody who has a conscience that cares more about the kids than what they do about their own reputation or a job. Have a good night.
That concludes those who have signed up to speak. We have finished all of our business. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So move Ms. Van Sickle,
Second.
second by Ms. Lillard. Those in favor of adjourning for public session, signify by saying aye.